Hey, what's going on, guys? B-Flatten here with a brand new video today. Today we're going to be talking about the Storm Striker melee build that's going to be showing you pure melee damage, just how strong it can be with a little mechanic and trick to make it even stronger. So why don't we go ahead and go into our inventory that we have here. The main stays of this build is going to be the live wire, which is much mag size as possible. 35 mag size on this live wire here, I believe, is the highest that it can get. And with passives and your myth rank, you can get up to about 45. And the other one is the Wailing Banshee of edginess. The Wailing Banshee has melee attacks trade up to 3 projectiles that seek out enemies behind the target, dealing 50% weapon damage. This is going to be for your flying targets or your targets that are going to be out of the way, out of reach. As a volatile, this is actually the maximum damage that it can obtain. I've even surpassed some primordials that I've seen as well. So this is going to be a really good roll for it. It also comes with Echo. Melee attacks deal 10% of all non-melee damage dealt with the Fate Maker over the last 10 seconds as bonus damage and reset this bonus. It's kind of like Groundbreaker in Borderlands 3, just less effective. It's a really good hilt attachment, and I highly suggest it on the Wailing Banshee. We have ourselves a Primordial Ring here. The melee damage is 22%. Melee critical hit chance is 25%, and melee critical hit damage is 41%. While health is less than 50%, effects are increased by 50%. This was given to me by Old Gnome King. He ended up getting it on a Chaos Chamber run. It's a really good ring to have for this build. This one I ended up finding myself. Melee damage 15%, melee crit hit damage 12.5, and melee crit hit chance 30. While ward is not full, effects are increased 100%. Thank you so much, Eminent. I appreciate that a shit ton. That's super duper kind of you. We have the Amalgam of the Raging Bear. This is a Brrzerker Claw. I know I'm using Brrzerker Stabbo on this, but the Stabbo power isn't really needed. It comes with area damage, melee damage, ability crit hit chance, which doesn't do anything, maximum health, and all damage dealt. So 3 really good items here on the 3 really good passes on this armor, and the area damage is just kind of there. Ability crit hit chance doesn't do it for us. I'm using the Bad Egg. Now, on spellcast, increase melee damage by 30% as the enchant. However, when the shield is depleted, you get 20% movement speed, melee damage, and 35% bonus dark magic damage while the ward is depleted. I stubbed this in with a Cursed Wit with the same enchant because you get 100% bonus damage dealt to nearby enemies. Since we're melee, and that's what we're running into a lot. I'm using a Frost Damage Berserker double rolled all damage dealt Peerage. When you cast a spell, reduce your remaining action skill cooldown by 20%, which is going to be our From the Shadows. This was taken from a Jolt's Dude build. So, however, Jolt's got it. That's how I ended up getting it. And also the Tidebreaker. This is a 3 spell charge Tidebreaker. Now, it doesn't have anything special attached to it besides the 3 spell charges, because that's the only thing it needs. Damage is not going to be coming from your Tidebreaker. On spellcast, increase damage dealt by 15% as well. This is going to be applying the Soaked effect. Now, Soaked is going to make your enemies take more damage from lightning and frost and less from fire, which is going to be perfect for our live wire with its special little unique mechanic. The reason why you need mag size on it is because the more mag size that you have, the more that the lightning chains are going to do based on how much mag size you have left. So since I have 45 mag size in here total, if I drop it down all the way to 1, which is how I usually run with this thing, I'm going to be getting the maximum amount of chains that are going to be coming out from the live wire in terms of damage. So you want to make sure you do that. Inside our skills, Berserker side, we have Ancestral Frost, 5 out of 5. The 4 Savagery is from the class mod, so ignore that. We have 5 points into the old ways, bonus damage, and damage reduction the closer you are to your enemy. Icebreaker, this thing is absolutely ridiculous for how good it is. You gain increased damage dealt for enemies that are slowed. You slow enemies by just attaching frost to them, so your Tidebreaker will do frost, because it's a cryo spell. So whatever enemies you hit with that, or whatever enemies you hit with the bonus frost damage while you're enraged, which is the Brrzerker passive, Rage of the Ancients, It's going to be doing its own separate damage formula. So if you want to get armor that has more Icebreaker into it, that would end up being preferred. It's a Berserker spell shot, so keep that in mind. Cold Snap is movement speed and frost efficiency, which is perfect for the build. Unarmored defense, your ward is reserved and cannot be restored, but your maximum HP is increased. So the lower that your shield is, the more that your shield effects will be passing through, because all of them are on deplete. 2 points into Blood Frenzy. You don't really need it, it's just to move down the tree a little bit more. Relentless Rage. Dealing damage while in Save Your Soul partially restores your meter. Killing an enemy while in Save Your Soul will cause the Fate Maker to become enraged, which is what happens when you automatically activate your Action Skill. And then we have Blast Chill. Whenever the Fate Maker deals melee to an enemy, there's a chance to release a Frost Nova, dealing Frost ability damage. There's 1 point in here from the class mod as well. We're using From the Shadows to get guaranteed crits. Arsenal is giving us melee damage. Haste is giving us melee attack speed and movement speed. Potent Poisons is for status effect damage and duration, which is going to be our lightning chains and our frost efficiencies. Exploit their weakness. Whenever you apply a status effect to an enemy, you take increased damage from all sources for its duration. So we're using frost and lightning, so that's status effects. Swift Death. When you're moving, you get increased damage dealt. Follow-up. Whenever you deal gun damage to an enemy, the Fate Maker's next melee attack deals increased damage. Now, if you, say, shoot with your, say we shoot with a liquid coolant for a couple of times, the next melee attack that we do is going to be doing increased damage, and since it does frost, it's going to be hitting super, super hard. Other things on here, I'm using another Crossblade and the Thunder Anima, but these aren't really needed. You mostly just hang on to the live wire with your hand, but they're also doing frost and damage for extra stuff. Shadow Step, the Fate Maker's next melee attack is guaranteed crit after a kill skill. 1 point into Contagion. Whenever you apply a status effect, there's a chance it spreads to nearby enemies. If no enemies are nearby, apply a random status effect to the initial enemy instead. And finally, Alchemical Agent. Melee critical hits, apply a random status effect. So when we're invisible, we're going to be applying a random status effect along with our Lightning and our Frost, which is going to take over for Potent Poisons and exploit their weakness to add in a lot more damage to our targets that we're hitting. Now, keep in mind that this build is going to have some struggles with flying enemies. It's going to have struggles with all raid bosses and the Maker, except for the Snake. Snake isn't that bad. Yellow raid boss. Green isn't too bad either. Blue is doable if you do the mechanic to get it onto the ground to hit it really hard, but it's a pretty tough boss regardless. Otherwise, mobbing-wise, this thing is ace. And most bosses, other than the ones I mentioned, are also going to be pretty easy. Drill will have some exceptions too. Let's go ahead and test out the Bad Egg, and also the Curse Whip, because there's a theory going around that the Bad Egg does more damage via melee than the Curse Whip when they're both depleted. So I kind of want to prove that theory right or wrong. Let's go ahead and see what we can find. So leading off with the build, you want to do damage that is not going to be melee damage. So you want to start with your Tidebreaker to hit your Frost on your enemies. You drain your shield. And from there you go with your melee swing. That was actually a very low swing because I realized my shield ended up recharging after all. I've noticed that the Bad Egg recharges its shield very, very quickly. And I personally don't like that much. Although when it is depleted, it hits very, very hard still. Now the Curse Wit, 100% bonus damage based on the distance to your target. Since we're going to be right next to our target, since we're going to be hitting melees anyways, it's going to be doing it's 100% bonus damage. But I want to see just how hard it hits. Here's our Curse Wit that we were using earlier. I'm going to drop down to 1. The Bad Egg seems to recharge a lot faster than the Curse Wit, which makes me not like it, but I know a lot of people prefer the Bad Egg, so I'm going to include it in the build anyways. Whichever one you guys like and want to use. Feel free. Hit. Oh, he downed me. Okay. Down me while invisible.
Remember the.
I'm gonna go ahead and try that one again. Go back to work tomorrow. What's up, Lead Off Space? How you doing? Alright, let's go ahead and try that one more time.
Going worse for wear there, hero.
Get our 2 tiebreakers, take our hit. Our next tiebreaker, get the guarantee. There it is. There's a 3 million hit there. A pretty hard hit for the build, actually. I truly think Cursewood is going to be better for bosses. Bad Egg probably going to be more for mobbing. But based on what you've seen, you guys take your pick. We have a 3 mil in there. We have a 300k in there. 345, 30k. There's another random 2 mil. 90k, 629k. 300k. I don't know if I counted that 345. Now, your lightning chains are going to be chaining 3 times, keep in mind. So whatever your lightning chains are hitting for, they're hitting that 3 times over. So that 3 mil is going to be tripling over, because that's our lightning chain one. That was a pretty hard hit. I'm going to go ahead and give the Bad Egg one more try, just because the shield was full. When I hit and swung, I think I'm just going to have to be a little bit faster than I was. Although that's a lot of damage. What we do. Just what we do. Give the Bad Egg one more chance. Just before I knock it. I realize I'm going to have to be a lot faster on my swing. I'll go ahead and swing a lot faster. Just because the recharge is way too damn quickly. 1, 2. Go invisible. Take the hit. Yeah, I don't really like it that much. Don't get me wrong, it's damage. Still hits hard. I don't like it as much, though. There's a mil in there. It's a lot less, it seems. There's a 31k, 24k, 54k, 263, 262. There's a 1 mil. That's our lightning chain, so it's going to be 3 times over. So seems significantly less to me. Both are going to be in the build, whichever one you prefer. Feel free to check it out. Also, class mods are going to be interchangeable as well with the Cape of Tides. We have a nice fire rate, all damage, movement speed one there. Feel free to take your pick, explore the build a little bit, and see what you prefer. Maybe you have better rings to try on, but feel free to test it out. Build is going to be in Discord. My name is BeefLotting, guys, and I'm signing on out of here. Take care, all. Laters.